Happy Friday, folks. Hockey playoff edition. And I'm happy because we got ourselves a series. I'm your host, Miguel Medina, guy Jim Biringer. Jim, Florida Panthers on the board.
Yes, Florida Panthers on the board. As we just said, no more losing streak for Florida. They finally got a win in the Stanley Cup final. They had been 0-6. And the Panthers played a simple hockey game on Thursday night in Florida. Though they were outplayed for most of the third period and most of the game, they found a way, they stuck with it, and the hockey gods were on their side as they won the game in overtime. Guys like Carter Verhaeghe, Brandon Montour stepped up, obviously Matthew Tkachuk, but the big story, Sergei Bobrovsky getting it done, turns back to the Bobrovsky of the first 3 rounds, made huge saves, and I go back to the hockey playoff edition, the Journal turning point. Barbashev off the post with about 5 minutes left in the third period. That puck goes in. That's game over. It doesn't. It keeps the Panthers alive. They tie the game, and the rest is, well, now we're going at least 5.
Yeah, certain things had to go Florida Panthers' way. I mean, they almost lost this game, but then Matthew Tkachuk, that game time goal, being at the right spot, right moment in the third period to tie the game, send it overtime, and the Panthers won in overtime. But certain things had to go their way. I'm just glad they won. You know, this franchise needed that victory. It was a must-win, and now it's off to Game 4, which will be very pivotal Game 4, and is either Vegas will have something to say, or the Florida Panthers, they should rise some confidence going into Game 4 after this victory, because now they say to themselves, we got a shot against this team. This team is fast, they're physical. You can't say, and I said it in the last video, they can't take a break with Vegas Golden Knights. So hopefully Florida Panthers, especially their goalie, continue to stay hungry out there and to not lose poise.
Yeah, look, Vegas, like Florida, they can't take them lightly either. I think the lapses, it was listening to players after the game, Mark Stone was saying it, even Jack Eichel, they were like, yeah, we gave them the middle of the ice just a little bit late, and they took advantage of it. And I don't think Vegas played their best game. We saw what they did in Game 2. I think the 2 days off hurt Vegas a little bit. They did find their legs. Aiden Hill played great again for Vegas. Let's just say what it was. All the goals, bodies in front, traffic in front, that's what they needed to do. They took away his eyes. Exactly what Vegas was doing to Bobrovsky. Florida needs to stay out of the penalty box. Plain and simple. Stop with the undisciplined penalties. Whether you agree with the penalties or not, stay out of the penalty box. Vegas continues to dominate on the power play. They were getting 2 for 5 in the game. Florida's 0 for 12 on the power play. Eventually it's going to change, but still, you can't keep giving Vegas chances as Jonathan Marchessault continues to score power play goals. That thing it's automatic now with Marchessault power play goal. 13 goals in 13 games, 11 in his last 10. This Vegas Golden Knights team is so dangerous, especially on the power play, and I expect Vegas to be better in Game 4.
Yes, we certainly do. I do expect Vegas Golden Knights to win this game, but I will not be disappointed if Florida wins, because that makes the series even much more interesting. So yeah, we just have to wait and see. On another note, I had to ask you about the Winnipeg Jets. They are one of those teams that is trending lately this week. My question to you is, when it comes to the first 2 letters, the R and the E, rebuild, remodel, reload, what do you think out of all of those is going to happen with the Winnipeg Jets? Because there's been things circling around saying this guy is not going to sign long-term extension, but then again, you have other players that they still have good players, the Winnipeg Jets. So I could go down the list, but they made the playoffs this year. But what do you think the front office should do with this team? Should they keep everything intact? Should they reload? I don't think they should rebuild. But do you think they should reload, or what is your take on it?
Well, we know the elephant in the room is Pierre-Luc Dubois. We know he's not going to sign a long-term extension with Winnipeg. It's been known. It's been clear since day one. And we know he wants to go to Montreal. So it really limits and hampers what the Winnipeg Jets can get in return from Montreal, because they know now they can hold on to this player as long as they want. Again, we've seen this. Like, guys want to leave. Duchesne left Colorado, but Sakic didn't trade him right away. I mean, this could linger throughout the summer. It's not like it could happen at the draft. It could happen in August. Heck, it even could happen at the beginning of the season. We really don't know. The problem is the Winnipeg Jets have a good enough team to continue to compete in the Western Conference, but are they good enough to win a playoff round? Do you have to continue to ride Connor Hellebuck for 13 games and then he has nothing left? Connor Hellebuck, Kyle Connor, guys like that have stated they don't want any part of a rebuild. So are you retooling on the fly? What are you doing if you're Kevin Cheveldayoff? And the thing is with the Winnipeg Jets, if certain guys leave, like say Scheifele leaves, so he wants to be a lifer because he loves Steve Yzerman. Yzerman was a lifelong Red Wing, so he wants to be a lifelong Jet. But if certain guys leave, and then like a guy like Connor stays, and then they start to rebuild, does that set a precedent to where, okay, do I feel obligated to stay, or am I going to want out? I mean, Winnipeg's just a fascinating team this offseason because they have so many pieces that teams would like Connor Hellebuck. I don't think Blake Wheeler's coming back. I think they're going to figure out a way to move him out. As far as Scheifele and Connor, I don't know if you want to get rid of those two guys. Obviously, Dubois. And again, Connor Hellebuck's name is out there. But again, what are you getting in return? Because he's such an elite goaltender. It's something the Winnipeg Jets need. Again, we've talked about it, how the coach ended the regular season and the season left that's a tough locker room to go back into. I know everybody said what they said, but you have to make a change because you can't bring back the same team with that coach after those words that were said.
Yeah, it's going to be a fascinating offseason for the Winnipeg Jets. I do like their goalie a lot. I really do. And we're going to see this more often now from players that they want to control their destiny. They want to leave. They want to go elsewhere. And I'm a firm believer that, that everyone deserves to be happy, deserves to have freedom. But not just in hockey, but in sports in general, to a certain extent, I have a problem with that, because if you have a commitment with a team, like, just give an example. If you have if you just signed a 5-year contract and after your first year, you're already unhappy, you want to move out, is like, come on. And I'm not saying in hockey specifically, but that's more that I've seen in the NBA, where players, they make all this money and then they want to complain too much. So, and I feel like with the generation that we're seeing now, and it's going to continue to get worse, where they want to have it both ways. You can't have a cake and eat it too. So, but we're going to see that more often from players, that they want to control their destiny and where they want to go, where they want to play. So that's just the situation. And that's how sports is. Sports is going to change, is going to evolve. But if I'm the front office, the Winnipeg Jets front office, got a lot of work cut out for you.
Yeah, they do. Kevin Cheveldayoff does. He has a lot of work cut out for him. Look, the dominoes fall. Pierre-Luc Dubois, look, he doesn't want to have what he went through. Look, at least Dubois is doing what Tkachuk did to Trey Living last year. He's like, look, dude, I'm not staying. I'm not signing. You got to move me. Okay, fine. That's great. Johnny Gaudreau waited to the last minute to tell Brad Trey Living that he's not re-signing. Okay. The Leafs are going to have a similar situation with Austin Matthews. I think that gets done, but again, Winnipeg, it all falls. The first dominoes, Dubois. then it's Hellebuck. Does it go to Scheifele? We know Wheeler's gone. Again, the Jets have a talented team. But again, do you want to be good enough to make the playoffs like a Nashville Predators and lose in the first round? Or do you start that rebuild where you can get a franchise-altering player that you build around? Yeah, take a couple lumps, but then you're consistently good for a long time. You don't want to be stuck in that murky middle, as we like to say in the NHL.